Good evening, everyone. Good evening, the people of Masabombwe. Good evening, the people of Kaumbwe. Good evening, the people of Kamfungo. Good evening, the people of Lusangazi. Good evening, the people of Shindano. Good evening, the people of Chisamba. This is TVBAKWETU, and good evening, the people of Twempara, without forgetting you and the much support you gave to this TVBAKWETU. As we always keep saying, this TVBAKWETU is run on voluntary basis, and we all depend on the stars that you send to TVBAKWETU for us to continue learning and continue being on TVBAKWETU. Today on this program, we are also today. This is Friday. We are also live on DSTV, that is on KBN, and also we are live on Topstar through KBN. We very soon will be on GoTV through the same channel, KBN. Today we will discuss very important topics, and most of these topics are the things that really happened yesterday and today. We have the issue of faith, about us surrendering our wealthy and also the house that worthy $6 million US. We also, this $6 million US or 6 million kwacha, should be 6 million kwacha. Then you also discuss the issue of the by-election in general, and also the other issue. As you know very well, I'm a pharmacist, and my passion is under mostly the Ministry of Health and what happens there. We'll discuss also the transfer of procurement of drugs from Ministry of Health headquarters to ZAMSA, formerly known as medical stores. So these are the three that we are going to discuss. Very soon we'll be joined by all the other TVBAKWETU TV family members who come give their side of the topics, and also some other topics that may come up that usually affects or that are going to uplift the understanding of the things that are happening in Zambia. To start with, let me start with the issues of by-elections. Yeah, let me use Chibembango Mina Kopala. Yesterday we had about 7 by-elections. We had by-elections, one parliamentary, and 6 by-election for local government. These are council chairpersons too. Then the remaining 4 were for local government, that is vacancy or voted. That is Mwansabombwe, Mshindano constituency, Mwansabombwe constituency, Mshindano constituency, Kamufungo Masaiti constituency, Chisamba, Lufubu, yeah, some in Lufubu constituency, then Lusangazi, Lusangazi, that's for council chairperson. Then also Kaumbwe constituency in Eastern Province. Yeah, these were the 7 by-elections that we had yesterday. Oko twadesipa na ba PF na ba UPND na bambi ama party ayaliko. In these by-elections, UPND has won 5. That is all the councillor by-elections. Then 1 council chairperson. Yeah, then UPND has lost the parliamentary seat and also the council chairperson seat, that is in Eastern Province. Number a perfume for everybody that for PF, and people have started saying no, the Zambian people are different. They are disciplined. Even the party they voted 2 months ago. Let's understand the gymnastics of politics nicely here. In August 2021, we had the general elections, and we saw the performance of UPND in Eastern Province, UPND in Central Province, UPND in Northern Province, UPND in Muchinga Province, UPND in Central Province, Copper Belt, and Southern Lusaka, Muchinga, and also Northwestern Province. Eastern Province, PF won the elections. Northern Province, PF won the elections. Muchinga, PF won the election. So these 3 constituencies, PF came out as victorious in terms of voting. Eastern Province, I don't know if we had a parliamentary, if not 1 parliamentary seat which we own. All the other seats were owned by the PF. Presidential PF won the elections. In Luapula Province, Mwasabombwe, PF owned all the parliamentary, all the councillor, and eventually the presidential elections. PF won. Now here's the issue. Let's go to Eastern Province, especially where people are saying that we have lost. How many votes did PF get? in terms of the presidential elections. And how many votes did UPND get? When you check for example, if I'm not mistaken, for Lusangazi, you find that UPND got 3,000 votes. UAPF got about 10,000 votes. Same goes to Kaumbwe constituency, where PF got about 10,000 and again UPND got about 3,000 votes. But today, when you check very well about the number of votes that UPND had in terms of the by-election, you discover that PF has reduced on the number of votes, despite all the lies that PF was trying to put across. One, they tried to mention that given Luvinda has been beaten by the UPND cadres, which was not true. They tried to put again to say no, the vehicle for PF they have been damaged by UPND cadres, which was again not true. Then three, they also went further to do about issues of tribal talks, where we saw some video where Honorable Nakachinda was busy mentioning that the UPND cabinet has all the Tongas and only one from Eastern Province, which was again not true. So all this propaganda was going on, where we are also trying to stabilize and to also trying to put our house in order in terms of the transition period. As you know very well, we just won the elections as UPND on August 12th, and we are still in the transition period and working with the PF budget that does not support what we said to the people of Zambia. We saw and we heard a lot of propaganda concerning free education. We heard a lot of propaganda concerning the men's plight. We heard a lot of propaganda concerning also the fertilizer and other farming inputs from the PF kind of machinery. When you check all the propaganda that went there and what we did as UPND, you discover that still the people have the trust for the United Party for National Development. We gained some numbers. We didn't lose. We gained some numbers. We got numbers from the PF as compared to the numbers that people are trying to portray. Dr. Chanda, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, Jerome. How are you?
I'm fine. Yeah. So when you check very well, I'm just talking about the by-elections that the PF are celebrating that they have won against us. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you talk very well about what really transpired, what type of tribal talks that was there, with especially from Nakachinda and Kambwili, together with Given, you discover that still with all this, the people had to give us some numbers. From the 3,000, when you check very well, from the numbers that we got, you discover that we pushed the figures, but PF reduced on its numbers. That again tells you to say UPND is still the people's favorite party and is still doing whatever which is best. For example, they were mentioning of free education in the 2021 budget, which was done by the PF. The PF didn't budget for free education. Now, do you need us as UPND to learn with propaganda to offer lip service? The president keeps saying, no, we are not here for lip service. The vice president in parliament today, she mentioned, as UPND, we are not for a lip service. We are here to provide tangible service and make sure and wait for the budget which will come next week, Friday, as the vice president also mentioned. In terms of the price for men's, in the PF budget for 2021, the price for men's, they had to put at 150. And not only that, they also said they are going to buy about 500,000, if I'm not mistaken, metric tons of men's by FRA. The remaining they will not buy. But when you check very well, the UPND government, when it came in, we had to increase by 300,000 metric ton, from 500 to go to 800,000 metric ton. Despite that, again, FRA has gone further to mention to say all the maize that have been taken to the depots, they will be procured by FRA. That shows to you how much a caring government does, despite working under the PF budget. I saw some MPs, Dr. Chanda, asking
Yeah.
in Parliament to say, where are you getting the money? And the Vice President, she was categorical. Sorry, the Minister of Agriculture, he was categorical yesterday in saying that there are some other activities that we have suspended as government so that to get money to buy some extra maize from the farmers. That's what the government that cares for its people does to the people. They were asking questions, the PFMPs. Well, they knew that they left nothing in the budget. And besides that, you also add the issue of what can I say, CDF. When PF was in office, they didn't release the CDF for 2021. Just imagine, CDF stayed all this time until UPND came into office. ZRA collected some taxes. That's when we had money to give to different constituencies. And the UPND has not discriminated. Even in Kaumba, where people have not given us that parliamentary seat, CDF is sitting in their account, it's waiting for them. The money has been released. So how can someone today try to question and ask UPND that we have failed to deliver while we are working under a constrained budget of PF that was made to affect or not to provide the quality services to the Zambian people? We are trying to get things from other areas. Yesterday, the presidential placed Anton Wire was mentioned to say we have managed to renegotiate some of these loans, some of these debts, so that the people who gave us money can at least push to a later date in terms of collecting the money. And just in 2021 alone, according to Anton Wada, he mentioned that according to 2021 alone,
Yeah.
we are going to secure, and we have secured to have secured about 500 million US dollars that we have pushed for the people not for us not to pay. So itself, we have 500 million US dollars to help run around and push in the education sector, according to what you mentioned, education sector, the health sector, and other social sector that affects or that needs the attention of the people. Just like right now, we have a diarrhea disease, that a breakout of diarrhea in Lusaka, and we need money to do that. You and me, we are in the health sector,
Yeah.
and we know very well how it costs to fight that epidemic that has like just come out in terms of diarrhea diseases in Lusaka. We need money, and the government has tried to renegotiate some of these loans, some of these debts, so that we can be given a breathing space. I got him very well, if I'm not mistaken. We secured now about 500 million US dollars. Now, imagine, Dr. Chanda,
Yeah.
today the PF has celebrating to say that no, UPND is being taught a lesson in Eastern Province. I think for me, that's not true. Eastern Province PF was not winning the seat of Eastern Province. They have just retained the seat because that seat belongs to PF. It wasn't a UPND seat. And the Vice President in Parliament today, she categorically mentioned to say, please, PF has not owned the seat, but they have retained the seat because that seat belongs to them.
Yeah.
But UPND has won the Mwasabombwe by elections because there we don't even have any parliamentary seat, but we have a councillor whom we have won. That, according to the word she used, that's now penetration. of
Yeah.
the party in the northern bloc. Anyway, let me leave it to you first. So that
You know,
let us.
Jerome, the problem with our colleagues, the PF, they are still working on the mindset of they are the ones in power. The clock has not yet rung in their heads to say that they are no longer in power. First of all, UPND has won using a landslide. They didn't just won by 2 votes or 3 votes. It was a catastrophe for how they lost the PF. And then this Kaombe seat that they've retained, to be realistic, UPND has actually gained numbers. That's their stronghold. UPND has gained numbers from there. But they now want to make it sound that, the people are now disappointed because UPND lied. They have not delivered what they were supposed to deliver because they're chronic liars. They want to ride on the ignorance of people, on the poverty of people. They were used, the PF, they were so used to when it's campaign time, there was no accountability. Somebody would just take a sack of money and start distributing to people and lie to them. They're so used to doing things like that that they don't even realize that the time has changed. They don't know what time it is. That's it. They've just retained it. They've retained it using awkward tribalistic methods that they have always been using. They've been saying, "Oh, have you seen people have been sacked?" Because some of the people that are leaving the government are the majority of the people that were from their area. So now they're using the reverse of thinking that now we are being marginalized, when the actual fact, these people are just leaving the offices that they were in because they're no longer in power. We don't expect them to still be in the offices of UPND when they were PF, government. With the mini meal, I even saw Izitba Nawakwi, as educated as she was, or she was even once a finance minister. She's sunk so low that she can actually go and buy a few people standing by a few. That's like me going to my farm and just paying a few people. In Zambia, you can pay anybody. You can literally pay people to come to your funeral and sing. Pay people to start saying that they're disappointed and this has not been paid, without telling them that the money that we are still using, the money that the government is still using, is the one that was planned for by us, the PF. Us who are in government are the ones who were planning for the money. Because what people don't understand, and they don't want them to understand, is that when you go into government, it's not like in other countries where you have to wait until the final budget for that government finishes, then another government starts. In our Zambia, UPND has come in, they still have to use part of the PF budget to finish off before we start using our own budget, which is going to be presented in the parliament next Friday. Even people who claim to be educated, because we are so tribalistic and patternistic, there are some people who are educated who will still tell you that, why hasn't free education yet started? Because as far as they're concerned, the minute they announced that Bali has won the elections, they were expecting Bali to come in and start making announcements like a dictator that tomorrow, as of tomorrow, you're not going to pay this. As of tomorrow, the uniform of certain school has changed. As of tomorrow, that's not how it works. These people are liars, and people should not even take them serious because they're a disgrace to themselves. If we lost in our stronghold, it would be something to say, is there something that we've done wrong? Are the people unhappy? This is a seat that is within their stronghold, and it's just them retaining a seat. It's not even something to write home about. It's not something to be, even for us to be raising our heads on, because let's face it, what is it going to do for them? Even us we've been in opposition for how long? We were in opposition for almost 17 years, maybe 20 years or so. We had seats in parliament.
Years,
That's just one of those.
23 years.
23 years. We also still had some seats in parliament. That's just one of those. They just have to understand that it's a long ride. It's a long way to go. They may win one, they may win two, but the way things are going, I don't even see them winning anything. I don't see them winning in the UPND strongholds ever, because the damage they've done is shocking. It's overwhelming. It's completely overwhelming. I understand, people who are not educated, you understand that maybe they are being lied to. It's people who are educated who start screaming on top of their voices that where is the free education? Where is the free? Even someone in parliament will be saying, I want my children to go for free. You are the one who is stealing money. You are the people who had all the money. Why don't you want free education for people who are underprivileged? That's what the free education is for in UPND. It's not for some millionaire going to go and take their child for free education. No, it's for the privileged, the underprivileged people who did not have access to education. But people want to now make this something to talk about. It's not something to talk about. They're just, devastated. They are still licking their wounds. At the moment, some of them don't even see the wounds that they have. They don't even know. Ganiba PF, I don't even know who's their president right now. I don't know whether it's Kambwili. I don't know if it's given. I don't know if it's Miss Nawakwi. I don't know how she comes in, because is she UPND? Is she PF? Is she whatever? She's just like somebody who, wherever they call her, she'll go. She's a political call girl, if there's such a thing. If someone pays, she'll run to that place. It's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. To be fair, Jerome, from where I'm coming from, we have not lost. They've just retained the seat, and we've retained more people. The numbers are going up. And then historically, the Eastern Province is the province where people are still unique, some of them. They don't change easily because they've got their own little sets of, alliances. There are people who can just vote because Rupiah Banda tells them to vote a particular way, because that's how their alliances are. That's how Eastern Province has been, historically. From UNIP to MMD to PF, it's been the same story. So I don't even know what they are celebrating. Bahimba has come in. What do you have to say about the elections? Is she in? Or she's still...
Okay, before she comes in, I think, Doc, what you have said is very true. PF should not stand and start celebrating as if they have made something new or they have won anything. No, PF has just retained the seat which they had. UPND didn't have any parliamentary seat in Eastern Province from the previous the session of Parliament, but this time at least we are trying to push what we can push. And moreover, with all the lies that they did, like you have mentioned, it is very surprising that the educated people are the one who are trying to lie to the people instead of telling the people the truth. I think we should start to say, if you say lies to the members of the public, we need to jail you, and maybe people will change.
Yeah.
How can people like the opposition PF in parliament today start singing for free education? Well, they know that they left nothing in the coffers. Well, they know that their budget does not call for people to do what? To go for free education. And moreover, they want free education for their children whom they can afford. No wonder some of them maybe they abandoning their children so that they start
they like freebies. They want free things.
Yes, they want free things. Maybe that's the reason. But the issue that we need to know very well is free education will eventually come, but for the vulnerable. The president keeps mentioning to say there will be no one who will not be denied the right to education, whether they are poor or whatever, but they will not be denied the right to education because they are poor. The president has said that, and has said categorically like that, meaning that there will be money for those who want education from grade 1 up to 12, and from grade 12 to tertiary. The vice president also says the same thing. We are going to provide quality education for everyone, and no one will be denied education.
Yeah.
Meaning that there will be free education, provided you want to get educated. You'll be educated. It's not that people will be taken from the or those who don't want to go to school, who put the muscles or whatever. No, those who wants to go to school, you want to get educated, money will be there. In that itself, it shows to you that there will be free education. Now,
Yeah.
PF, without even us putting our budget next week, they want to insult us. We have told them to say, you are giving a CDF, you are giving CDF 1.6 million. For you, PND, come and check 2022 budget. The CDF will go up. You see, we all
Yeah.
yet don't, but the CDF is going to go up. The reason the president was also saying to say, look, I want development to go to the constituencies, and I want to empower the people in constituencies, open companies, open cooperatives, and we are going to send more money in the constituencies because you are the people who knows the work you need to do in your constituencies, and give yourselves the contracts to do these works.
Yeah.
That's
Because
that's what it means by saying more money in people's pockets. Now,
yeah.
anyway, let me end here. Let me maybe let's see Imbe Fi. Imbe, are you here? Imbe, please.
Jerome, I'm here. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening,
evening.
Emma.
Please say something over the
Doc,
by-election.
Jerome, I'm Himba.
Imba, please. Imba, say something, please.
Doc, how are you?
I'm fine, Emma. How are you?
I'm fine. I missed you.
I miss you too. Miss you more.
Thanks. Uh, Good evening, viewers, wherever you are watching us and listening, listening from us. We say good evening and hope you are enjoying our program. Jerome, my contribution towards the by-election, I think the UPND has done well, and I'm just urging that as Zambian people, let's give time to the PF to heal, because it's like even simple mathematics, they can't understand it. They're still in the confused state. As Doc has said, they haven't yet accepted that they lost the elections, and they haven't yet accepted that Bali is the leader of the nation at the moment. So let's give them time to heal. Then I'm just a bit disappointed with Mama Edith Nawakwe. It's very disappointing because apparently Madam Edith Nawak would have been one of the leaders, even representing African continent, because she was one of the first females to be the Minister of Finance in the southern region. But she has decided to degrade herself. Philadelphia Matavefio Varela Ndapo with the group from the Eastern, for me, it didn't even make sense to me, because all I was seeing was somebody who is hurt, who is trying to mislead innocent people, who doesn't understand the policies and the governance of the nation. Because I was expecting, like, Mama Edith Nawak to educate those women, to help them understand the issues of governance. It was showing that it was staging. And if you noticed, only about one or two women were contributing. The men were just watching. Even the way they were responding, you'd see that they were not interested in what she was doing. For me, she's just embarrassing herself. And then this free education, I have a proposal. The free education, I think the best thing for me, especially in colleges, universities, I think that if we say those who wants to go on bursary, can they first go to ZNS, Ikawama, because we are going to have real, genuine, and vulnerable people who needs government sponsorship. Bantu abana babakankala tete bafuayo kuya ku ZNS. So if maybe we say, if you want to go to get the bursary, you have to pass through ZNS. But do you think a daughter of a rich man or to go and learn survival skills others at that level? They won't. So we are going to have genuine and vulnerable people who needs the bursary. Not, like those young people who were talking to Bali, which was okay. It's their constitutional right to communicate to their president, But it's difficult for us to identify who is genuine. Remember what Ntewewe did? So Ntewewe staged and like a demonstration. You remember? Remember what the Association for the Disabled did? Valonga abantu vulnerables took them to Barry's house. So how do we know that these are genuine people who are even shouting for bursary? It's difficult. So we really have to come up with a strategy to identify which children or vulnerable young people really needs bursary. Last, mutukatampa okusapota n'abaana b'abaidisi nawakwibene n'abaana bakakachinda, because why are they really demanding for bursary when they know that there's no money? So which means they want to benefit in a dubious way. So for now, I submit, Jerome.
And also, you know, the PF, it's not, when we are talking about the elections, it's not that we are putting a hot iron on their heads. We're also happy for them. We are happy that they're actually being in opposition, because Zambia is a democracy. We want them to carry on, because that's the only way we will maintain our democracy. So they shouldn't be unhappy. They should be. We are also happy that they're at least trying in their own little ways, as long as they're not lying. If they win a seat, we are happy for them that they've won a seat. They can continue the democracy. Even us in UPND, we were losing some seats, winning some seats. Eventually we win a landslide. Even then, they should just carry on. The problem they have, PF, is that they are in a hurry to change things that they cannot change.
Which they didn't change.
That's why they're stressed with the education. They want to, to start saying, even Anguniba Balusambo, was it yesterday when he was talking about that police station? That police station was built in their time, but he was asking us if it was built last week. In the government of Lungu, we were planning to build. That was built in your same government. It was not built 2 weeks ago or 3 days ago when, from the 20-something of August to now, that's when they built. No, that was built before. That's why they keep dragging themselves to things that they just put a foot on them. And then when we tell them, again, they get upset. Oh, stop mentioning PF, stop mentioning PF. You're now in government, just carry. No, we can't carry on. We have to remind you that your police station, Mulelu Mbulapo, so in a police station.
Just to add on,
yes,
Jerome, and let us not forget one thing, which I'm proud as the UPND government. At least we've had by-elections. Tapali Umulopa, no one has been killed. I'm so proud of that. No Zambian life has been lost. No violent, very peaceful. But PF Natubalanga that we are running the nation. Inganiba PF government. And even no bullet. There was firing of bullet. I'm so happy and my heart is at peace. That these by-elections. This is how a country should be. Picture my dead bodies on social media. Would have seen all those pictures on social media. But today we thank God to our Zambian president. No life has been lost. No child has been shot by the police. No one has been harassed. And our constitutional right has been peacefully exercised. I submit.
Yeah, you see, me, I like him, our president, and the president keeps on saying, have patience and see how governance is supposed to be done. You are talking about the bullet. A bullet is even a big thing to mention under the able leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. Just talk about tear gas. Did you see any tear gas? Nothing. Now, if we skip tear gas, can you talk of a bullet? This is how PF was brutal. If us in the UPND government, you can see that it is very difficult for even tear gas to come out. The police now are very much professional and they can execute their duties without them fearing or favoring anyone. It's only given Vinda who came up with a story to say, I've been beaten. But there's no any medical report where to say he has been beaten, to say, oh, this is what happened. Apart from themselves, stage something, and bapunda na bena yo naba to attack by UPND. No, UPND they got such characters. If we want to buy clean, and the president keeps saying to say, look, we in the UPND, we want to show you how to do things and how governance ought to be done. But governance very fast. Then talk like you have mentioned. They want things they did in 10 years. Aka indech them to do them in 30 days.
2 days. Not even 32 days.
Yes, sure. Is that normal? It's like their mental capacities, faculties, are they okay? You may see to say these guys are not normal. How can you want someone to do something that you did in 10 years? You want them to do them in 24 hours? Is that church a magician? He's not a magician. He's just a human being like everyone else. And not only that, there are also some legal implication to whatever, and they need to go all those processes for something to be done. So what is PF trying to say? What are they trying to do? They also again start attacking their own makings, which we were telling them to say, this thing you have done, that's not what supposed to be done, but we'll show you. And I can assure you, and I can assure our viewers, that PF will know how governance ought to be done, and the President Hakainde Hichilema is going to set the bar very high. And I don't know if there will be anyone in PF who's going to come any closer to the bar President Hakainde Hichilema is trying to set for this country. Because so far, what he has done, one themselves says, get the paper. Can you counter-check what we are promising and start ticking what we have done? Continue ticking, and you'll find that the bar we have put is too much, and I don't think so. If even given Windawe na Kambwiri, na work we can even be there. When Nakachinda can even be compared to that. You will see. Anyway, Doc, to you.
Someone is asking that, oh, Ebushai platform yenu hii hapa kwetu yaba UPND fye. You know, they yaba UPND fye. Na link opo ili na mumu ininga mlefo kuisa tumu waisa join na fye muavika poka link na mumu waisa tulondru welako ukulinga na nofyo mlefu waya. So it's not just for UPND, but in Nepal Rwanda na bajerom ni for UPND. So we will say it as it is. Ba PF mwayama criminal. Bambi bako na polite, they were a bit nasty. No, not a bit. You were criminals because konso kumwale ya mwale puma abantu. Muma town center abantu bale umfomwenso. Can you imagine abantu ba votere bambi tamwa ishibelo kwishibate bale mi vota tabaka mi votere kumwenso. They just bale shine if you tuma voters card that tukaya vota pade. That's why it's so shocking for them. Because abantu bale you know, umuntu nga mwalimu chita submit muli stress, muli frustration, mwalimu chita undermine. The last thing they had was the voters card. So abalela ndato bushei platform yaba UPND. No, they yaba UPND. Na imunga mlefu ayanga na mkwata fu mlefu kulanda. Tumu chitafe join link. In fact, na maybe kilapo na link. Na mtu mwaisa join na mwalanda mga mlefu amu chita defend. It's a democratic process. But be prepared. We will tell you that the things you were doing were wrong. Because they were. You were bullying people, frustrating people. The other day to alikweteba Thompson, bali shooting na mumolu, baba na hospital. The wounds are still needing treatment from your own people, your own fellow countrymen, just because of being in a different party. That should never ever happen in Zambia. Of course, there are certain places onga mwamfato na batu balubinda benat na banguma, then following the picture menso palifye bwino. Ibach babiri batatu na bana kashinga bachla bat bali landet na baboma kumenso. Na fipola fiance na fipola within 24 hours. Na bamba nomba ya sanduka ni cry wolf. You start complaining, nomba palasta tu akabachite na believing baboma nombe fiachini. Bahimba, what do you have to say?
Doc, actually, ababalela that bushei platform yaba UPND. Bebe na tuteba fuaisha panat kwa tame pushwe bese batwasuke. This platform is not for UPND. It's for the Zambian people all over the world. So we are inviting the PF. We are desperate for them. We want to come and debate with them. The link, as you've said, it's open to everyone. Today, invite sana bamimoni mube, but not we are longing for them, but they are never there.
They can just press and come in and join in.
Nomba kange the goodness ama politics tuleshita nomba na kwata na evidence. Pantu nga baisa apa bese nama ifuna tukwata ama proof. Echiri chonse chalanda na tukwata ama recordings and we have proof. Ama politics ya nomba it's evidence based. So bana isa na evidence not at the lwati bantoba amapi mailo kumenso kulinda tatulefuayo. Ife bamuna babengisha kale 4-0 mu parliament. 4-0 yaingira bafiro okudefenda. After baleted ashya police station.
Nayo bakulili abene. Police station abene bakulile balaba. Oh, bushe ayama police station nomba mulekula bushe na yakwata yama facilities pantu ife pantu ala muntu waisu na yakwata fe fionze fe noko mulebu tukaba abana bonse uko ilis station.
Yo kuni 4-0 ya. Ma ibyatwalela ndakubwa cyate bakupisha pomo. Elo bachimana fi confidence. I liked that. That was wisdom. Ndala bamuma ka whitewash no kwikala fe quiet. He couldn't defend himself again in parliament. Whitewash.
Na liko safari ili fe film no kubalumbula tetu tubalumbule pana abana mu street bengi
atatule balumbula batiriri ashinali bekatali abo fyenga nabe tatula balumbula okubalumbula pantu ba ama leaders n'abatubombera mu parliament n'ababebukisha. So the work has already been done. Fetu alalanda fe pama election na fimbi
nivyo fine kwena ngevyo twachitana nkani. I think people should know that this platform is not for UPND, but like Dr. Chanda said, and myself, we are UPND, and we are proud UPND members. So we are here to defend our party.
And defend. Correction.
Yes.
I'm also UPND. A proud.
So now we are the 3 UPND guns here. So we want the PF gun.
I'm a cadre.
Aratwali kapita mama 20 something years old. You keep mentioning PF. Mama inbox to alefro ule posha ba blue bobe pa Facebook bakutuka. What is it now? Is it UPND again? Webantunde pusha fi blue wandi na pap. But now things have changed. Now imagine these people don't even see how things have changed. Imagine if we were to if HH had lost, a platform to land lapo, Jerome, na mu prison. Na abachita pinikira bakashi bakwe na bapinikira abana bakwe na
inenalishire TF ngayawe inakubbala mkamzambia so nalishire prepare ka passport kalileta tapanga hata warusa mati
tubale kupembela no kupembela.
Yeah. No, it's good we have other people to come in. Anyone who has joined with the PF to come and defend a PF member or anyway, Bachere Ebo, what is your take over what we are talking about the by-elections? Please say something. Yeah, please be quick in a minute.
The by-election was good. Okay, I'm by-election. Yeah, let's see. By UPND now at trade. So I think by UPND no problem is the answer because every time we go in a posi by UPND kulwapola.
Okay, thank you. Bachile Ebo is in Wapula province. Dr. Kalwela Kafunya, sorry. Yeah, under a minute, please. Under a minute. Say something about the by-elections.
Hello. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I think the by-elections so far they are good. I think one thing of note is that you know there's been a sense of fresh air in the by-elections. There's never been such a thing as the president is in Eastern Province. Then no other opposition leader should be in Eastern Province, as we used to see in the past, where everyone would be haunted out and allow one man to campaign for three days before elections. And so in these by-elections, there was not such a thing. The president is in Eastern Province, the president is in Northwestern Wapula, but any other political party leader is also in the same area campaigning freely. But then that was I think that was a good thing. I think the president showed the world, showed the people that in UPND there is a lot of maturity. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Can everyone who's not speaking please mute themselves? Please mute yourselves so that yeah, please vachile tininke niko palika mute hapo. Tininke nipo. Yeah, tininke nipo palika mute. Kule wako kaeko karefu ma. Tininke niko pali mute. Vachile tininke niko pali mute. Okay. Vachata. What is your take over the by-elections? Please say something, Vachata.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes.
Okay, good evening, TVBAKWETU. My take, I'm not going to comment about your election. I'm interested in the Faith Musonda incidents because I think you haven't said anything about that, I'm really disappointed in the case that, this person was found with so much money and basically she has admitted that these monies were not acquired in the right way. So I really don't understand our laws in Zambia. They come against us because why have they let her go? Basically, this money was not acquired legally. So there must be consequences in this. It's like you're telling a child, when a child does something wrong and you say, oh, my child, it's fine, this. There must be a punishment to show, that, what you have done is wrong. So I believe our government needs to do more on this because I think most people are not happy with what has come out, There must be some sort of punishment for her, for her to go and think about what she has done, because this shows now that somebody can steal and get away with this because of certain laws which are there in Zambia, So this really it doesn't sit well with me. I'm really, really disappointed with all this.
Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
for that. Dr. Chanda, this is the second topic that we said we need to talk about it. Though we may be off, or I think in a minute or so, we may be off from DSTV, but we can continue for some time so that we finish up some of these topics. On the Faith Musonda case, Dr. Chanda, your take?
So on the Faith Musonda case, I'll refer Bachata to ama drug dealers in Mexico, in America. Some of them commit tedious crimes. They even kill people, but they have the bigger fish that they run with. We don't have the full evidence of exactly who is involved in the crimes and who else is linked to this money that they're talking about. But the fact that she's said that this is money that she illegally got, the government has now collected that money. So it's in our favor. The government has spent very little money to get back that money. If she's refused to do that and we go dig deeper to find out who the money came from, who it is, assuming, I don't have the facts, I'm just saying, assuming one of those persons is a protected person who can't go to court, then we'll come to a standstill. We'll go through a whole process where we've spent so much money chasing somebody and then come to a standstill where we may maybe send her to prison. Prison may be maybe 4 or 5 years, but without the money. So from where I'm standing, it's okay that she's given back the money. Having said that, these are the things that I would like to know is if she's again linked to another crime, will she still be pardoned on this same pardon, or will she be now linked or go into prison? Those are things that maybe our resident lawyer can talk about. I'm not a lawyer myself. But from where we are standing, the government has, we've had so many cases in court where people have stolen money. The money doesn't come back. The government spends so much money trying to, prosecute these people, and there's nothing left. Because with this crime, you have to ask yourself how much. There's our emotion and there's the law, from what I've learned so far. There's how we feel about something, and there is evidence, and there's how long will the person be locked up for. Some of these high crimes, you find that maybe they're being locked up for 4 years. If you've got 36 million, I don't know how many millions, 4 years is nothing. In a poor country where the prisons, you already have money, like Pablo Escobar, he was living a fantastic life in prison because he can pay anybody. You can pay anybody in prison. So it's for our benefit to get back all that money. And then this person becomes a whistleblower because from what the evidence is, I can't remember which chapter or section it is, but she's agreed it was money illegally got, so she didn't get it legally. And she's agreed to work with the government on the cases on how they'll persecute or look after other people who've committed the same crimes. So on that point, we are on the right direction. Now, us as citizens in Zambia, we want punishment. We want to see someone suffer. We want to see, they've stolen. What are they going to be punished for? Because low-level crime, like somebody steals 2 kwacha, they will be locked up for 2 years, 3 years, because the evidence is very clear. You've literally stolen something in front of a shop. There's evidence. There's no waste of time. The court will catch you. They'll decide within 24 hours because there's evidence. In these high-level white-collar crimes of money, they go through so many things that you have to take the evidence. You have to find out how exactly it happened. It could be maybe somebody was given a cut from a deal that they got from China, from I don't know where, some high-profile person is involved who can't even go to court. You end up stuck. So the first thing is to get our money back and then see where we go from there, because this is just the beginning. The government has not given us full evidence of what's going on, because maybe if they do, they will jeopardize their own cases that they're working on. So that's what I think. So it's a very difficult thing. It's an emotional thing. We can't undermine it. It's not something easy. Even I feel frustrated and say, why do poor people have to go through much hell when they're still very little? And then those who are stealing millions look like they're being given a pat on the hand and say, oh, just don't worry, just bring the money back and off you go. But it's the way it's being done. What do you think, Jerome? What's your take on this?
Yeah, I think today, first in the morning, the same thing came up in Parliament, and the Vice President categorically mentioned to say, we have given you amnesty, and there is such an amnesty in the law. So take advantage of the amnesty in the law. If you have stolen, retain everything, and you will be cleaned, and you will not be jailed. So she was appealing to the people of stolen to retain everything. But in a situation where the situation for Faith, she has come out and said, no, this is illegally. I got this in an illegal way. And she forfeits the house, which is worth about 6 million kwacha. She goes on to forfeit the money and the other things that she got from these illegal activities. For me, that's enough of the punishment that someone can get. It's not, punishment should not only be in a situation where, unless you are being pushed to go to jail. I think that's not the way it is. Some people, you may think like they have gone to jail. They don't even go to suffer in jail. So the way just they have done, I think for me, it's very much fine, provided the law provides for that. So let's close that chapter for Faith. If she has other case, like you have mentioned, I'm not a lawyer, I'm a pharmacist. So maybe we need our lawyers to come and explain to us what that means, so that we can also learn one or two things in this instance and all that. I wish Council Marise was here today. Hopefully he'll be there tomorrow, so that he can explain the implication of all this situation, because he explained very well when the case started. So I hope we can engage him again and bring him back on this forum, so that he explains what it is all means. I think that's my take. Yeah. Imba, what is your take before Dr. Kafua comes in? I may try to cut off my picture. I think so, because of I'm moving to where I can charge my phone. Yeah, but I'll be there. Yeah, engaging.
Can you get me in?
The challenge I have, ile shida kwa Faith Jerome, I didn't even want to comment on it, because honestly, I'm also disappointed like any other person or any other Zambian, but probably maybe because we are ignorant about the whole situation, we don't understand it. Maybe if we get to understand the situation, that would help us. But all I would want to know is, does it mean what she has declared, it's all what she had stolen from us? If maybe she has hidden other things, what happens? Because probably she declared those, she has surrendered those, but she still have some bags somewhere else. So it's a little bit confusing for me. So I really wouldn't want to comment. But as much as you are saying, would want to, personally, I would love to see some of them in prison. But I'm literally ignorant about the law at the moment over these issues. I submit.
Yeah, anyway, Dr. Kafunya, please, what is your take?
Thank you very So for the Faith Musonda issue, I'm at pains to get to reality, actually, as in how all that money can just be forfeited without actually knowing where it is coming from. Is what my concern is. My concern really is not whether or not Faith goes to punishment, to be punished and goes to prison, but my concern is, have we established where the money is coming from? Who gave her that money? If she has agreed that that money is was illegally obtained, in my view, where I am, that is evidence enough that she has pleaded guilty. There's no other evidence that is needed. If someone pleads guilty, they have pleaded guilty, and that's evidence enough. There's no trial, there's nothing. She has pleaded guilty. And so, when someone pleads guilty, the money is forfeited to the state. It's not like.
Okay, Patrick, we have lost Patrick. What is your take? What is your take over the matter? Limbikani and
Jerome,
mute yourselves.
thank you so much.
Yeah, Limbikani and Vamtonga, can you mute yourselves? Limbikani and Vamtonga, mute yourselves, please. Mute yourselves. Can you mute yourselves, please? Mute yourselves, please. Thank you. Patrick, yes.
But
Your
Jerome,
take.
thank you so much. How are you, Bakwetu family? Good evening, viewers. On the faith issue, I think we spoke about it in one of our programs, and we mentioned that sophisticated criminal crimes are not easy to prosecute. Zambia might not even have the. But Jerome, can you listen? Can you hear me?
Definitely, yes. Very loud and clear. Very loud
Yeah.
and clear.
Zambia may not even have our enforcement officers might not even have the resources to investigate, because some of these cases they require forensic experts. I doubt if Zambia has got so many forensic experts in our law enforcement agencies. Countries like the UK, yeah, where I live, where they've got sophisticated systems, forensic experts, Scotland Yard. They also find it difficult to prosecute people who are involved in these sophisticated crimes. The UK in 2017 had to come up with a law called they called it a lifestyle audit, similar to the law they used here for faith. So what they do is, if they suspect somebody is stealing, say he works for the government, or they suspect somebody is living beyond his means. So what they do is they will call that person, and I say, we suspect you are living beyond your means, because they've got the systems. They can check how much tax you pay and everything. And then what they will do is they will say, now, according to our information, this is how much you earn, and this is how much you've earned over time. But these are the assets you have acquired over time. So can you explain how you acquired these assets when you've earned only so little? And if that person cannot explain, they forfeit the assets. Because to start prosecuting that person, because the burden of proof in a criminal offense is very high, is beyond reasonable doubt. But the burden of proof in a civil law is just a balance of probability. So I think the government did well. But again, this government is very smart. They might seem to be slow, but they are very smart, because they are learning from the mistakes others have made. The Mwanawasa regime, which we all praise that they were good at prosecuting crimes committed by politicians, the Zambian people actually lost a lot of money, because they were hiring expensive prosecutors. You know some of the names, you don't have to mention them. And the lawyers made a lot of money, but how much did they recover? Not much. Even the $9 million they recovered from Chiluba, they had to pay it back. So, Faith Musonda, the only thing I would love to know is, actually they might not tell me, it's possible that Faith Musonda has turned a state witness, because most of the countries, they only allow somebody to go free if you accept to be a state witness. There are two things. It's either Faith Musonda, you know that at law, you can remain quiet, or you can answer certain questions and refuse to answer others. So maybe Faith said yes, she got that money dubiously, and she doesn't want to mention those people. So what's the point of taking Faith to court when Faith has said she got the money dubiously? Or Faith has mentioned the people, and she has accepted to be a state witness, but they cannot reveal that information to the people. Then they will alarm the criminals, and maybe also Faith has signed a contract not to tell anybody the content of that agreement, while the government now is investigating, further investigation to pursue the source of that money. And then if you look at countries like Nigeria, Nigeria, under one of the governments, there was so much crime in the previous government, people stealing, ministers and government officials stealing. They came up with an amnesty law because they realized that these criminals are sophisticated. So what they did is they said, whoever stolen in government, we know you. So all we want you people to bring some of that money you've stolen, and they gave them a period, 90 days or 6 months. Bring the money. It's like in the UK, the government will discover that one area of the UK has got a lot of knives and guns. So they will tell the people who live in that area that we've given you amnesty 3 months. Can you surrender those knives and guns? If you don't surrender them, they will force themselves into your houses. And then they'll prosecute you also. That's what Nigeria did. And they recovered a lot of money. Some of it were billions. They had to ask the Scotland Yard to help them because the money was in the UK and other countries. Yeah. So I think to me, as a starting point, this government has done well with faith. It's not easy, guys. It's complicated. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Patrick, for that. Wiseman, please, what is your take? Please, Wiseman, come in.
Thank you very much, our pharmacist Dr. Mr. Jerome Kanika. Good evening to everyone on Bakwetu. Good afternoon, depending to where you are. I think, sir, for me, I've got a different view on this issue. First of all, let me send my disappointment on the way this matter has been handled. To what I understand is that the law has got no ears or eyes. It's sold to everyone. At what I'm understanding now in Zambia, it seems like the law favors people who have got money and punish poor people. If you have seen what has been happening normally in our country, if you steal a chicken, Mr. Jerome Kanika, and you have been found with that chicken, the chicken will be presented to be the evidence and will be prosecuted. Why don't they allow those thieves who steal chickens to say, since now Letengo, we have brought this chicken, we are going to give you an amnesty, we are not going to take you to jail since you have brought it. The way they have allowed Faith. Faith did not take the money to the police. The police found the money to Faith. So if the police couldn't have gone there to investigate and to search for that money, Faith couldn't have surrendered that money. Why should they give them amnesty? Yes, it is in our constitution, it is a law. But I don't remember any day our president declaring amnesty to whoever has stolen our money. I don't remember. So where is this amnesty coming from? If there is an amnesty to those people, what is the period? If she has been given an amnesty, what about the list? Are they in the same shoes? We have got all those questions. I understand and I agree with my comrade, Mr. Chilufya, where I said it's complicated, but that's why we put those people in those offices. It is to solve issues which are complicated. As we are Raymans, and we expect that we have got experts in the office. So if the experts are going to be failing us, where are we going to learn to? For me, the issue of faith was supposed to be prosecuted, taken to Mkoweko where other people are suffering, people who have been maybe wrongly accused just because they were found with maybe 2 balls of cannabis. They will be put in the courtroom. They will show those 2 balls of cannabis to say this is the evidence, and they'll be prosecuted. If you steal 50 kwacha in someone's handbag and you have been caught with that 50 kwacha, you will never been given an amnesty. Why now giving amnesty to people with money? For me, I wanted Faith to go to Mkoweko, the people who she was working with to go to Mkoweko, so that those retirees, Comrade Jelum, who were queuing on the Minister of Justice there, trying to push for their money, someone was keeping the money in the house.
Meanwhile, our fathers were queuing on the sun, on the rain, trying to push for their money. No one was there to attend to them. Some people died because there were no oxygen for COVID-19. There were nothing, completely nothing in the hospital to help those lives whom we lost. Someone and government were saying they have got no money. Someone was keeping the money in the house. Lot of things. Thank you very much for the people who are in the diaspora on the TVBAKWETU. They came up and helped Zambia on start donating some of the money which help us to fight COVID-19. Government says they have got no money. Meanwhile, someone was holding into money in the house, and then you recover that money, and then you said, go, we have given you amnesty. I'm very disappointed, and I'm looking forward to see where we're going to have a leader among from our new Dawn government, and I want to address that leader. That leader has to explain to me exactly what transpired on the issue of faith. Otherwise, they have to give us, all of us, amnesty. Even Waiwenkoko, police, they aren't going to go to Mkoweko. I'm telling you, Mkoweko will be empty. But if the law is going to choose which one can follow and which one can't follow, I think I'm disappointed. I'm looking forward for faith to go to prison and the rest of the group to go to prison. There, I'm going to say, I'm happy with the new Dawn government. I'm happy with your investigation. Kudos, you have recovered the money, but you haven't recovered the thieves. We want to know the thieves. That's why we voted for change. That's why we voted for you people. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Wiseman, for that. Limbikani, please, what is your take over this matter? Limbikani, are you there?
I'm here, Jerome. Thank you very much, and good evening to TVBAKWETU. It's been a while since I was here, and I'm really happy to be here. I don't know about how all of you are. Now, this faith issue, for me, I'm happy with how it is being handled. Okay. I'm not really privy to the actual figures as to how much this government recovered from the two previous administrations that embarked on a corruption fight. I'm talking about Levi Mwanawasa and the Michael Sata. You know, the most recent one, of course, is Michael Sata, and we saw him remove our former president Arabi's immunity. And then we had people like Dora Syria, Max Omwale. I'm sure there was Kenneth Konga at some point, whose hotel was grabbed. You know, it was all over TV. No, we have grabbed the hotel here, this and this and this and this. However, the amounts that the Microsoft administration recovered, they recovered from Riyadh, okay, but that was only 2 billion that back in the day. Today is 2 million. So can we really compare Riyadh to, even if Riyadh went to prison for a few months or something like that, can we really compare 65 million to 2 million? So for me, this is a step in the right direction. It's progress. How much did the Mwanawasa recover compared to what was spent prosecuting Chiruva, prosecuting Faustin Kawe, prosecuting Xavier Chungu, and Katie Karumba, and the rest? But for the new Dawn government, one person, 65, it's actually not 65 million, it's 72 million, because we are talking about a house for 6 million and $57 million. Oh, $57,000. Yes. So for me, this is okay. Yeah, that's what I can say for now, because if that's what I can say for now. But I'm not saying this is over. Let me just conclude. I'm not saying this is over, but I believe that our people have they have this covered. This isn't over. It's still going on. So I trust the process. I submit.
Okay, thank you, sir. Vamtonga, please, what is your take? Unmute yourself. You're muted.
But Jerome, just a
Okay.
second. Let me interrupt you a second. Vamusha is saying people should show their pictures.
Yeah,
Please.
please. We should be seeing people. This. Okay, well, Jerome, I think this one, to me, I don't agree with the first, the amnesty, which is amnesty is only given to those that have not handed in money, then you want to get them. This one was found red-handed with money, so I don't see why they're giving amnesty. That I think even the law does not. I mean, there's no amnesty to one who you've already caught. So to me, that is the wrong point. I don't know, maybe they've made a deal. I hope they've made a deal where she's going to reveal things which are not known now. That's why they give her that amnesty, probably. But as far as just giving her amnesty when the money was already found with her, that is a case which they're supposed to prosecute. But in this case, with I'm hoping that she becomes, like my brother said, a government witness, so that we can recover more from, because I don't think she was single-handedly having this money. She got it single-handedly because she must have got it from somewhere. She wasn't even a minister. She wasn't even a mere journalist, and so there must be some people who they're working together. So these are I wish they have done some deal to say, tell us the names, tell us the people that you were working with, because it's to just let her go and having your 65 million and 57 dollars, it's not enough, because these guys literally ripped the whole country out. You can't compare. I don't think you can compare to SATA and the corruption which happened with Lungu. Lungu, literally everybody was doing free for all. It's like they were just taking, for not even considering the country. The people were going, the suffering and poverty was, you could smell it. These guys, they dealt. I mean, they said they found 10 empty bags, of which could have contained $1 billion in each. So this girl was part of a cartel. So she had her share, and there's more to it. So I'm hoping that they will have to they've got some information from her, and which they can use to find some other monies where they've hidden. Thank you. That's my take. I submit.
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Chanda, I think my battery is seriously failing me. Please help me to modulate. Yeah.
Okay, no
Help
problem,
me
Jerome.
help
So
me
we
to
had
moderate.
Tonga talking about the how he feels about what's going on, and he's not happy. So just a recap, the section that they were referring to, that the government has used, just
Yeah.
if people are listening in,
Mm-hmm.
it's the section 80 of the Anti-Corruption Act number 3 of 2012.
Yes.
That's the act that the government has used, and they've stated that Section 80 of the act allows the state to grant amnesty to accused persons in certain instances on conditions that they admit wrongdoing and return what they wrongfully acquired through corrupt practices. So, what is clear for us now is that this woman has agreed that she acquired these monies and the property in corrupt activities. What we have not been availed with, what we've not been told, is how, from whom, when, and where. Now, I think that is where we cannot confirm. We don't have the evidence to say this. She could be a state witness. She could be helping the government. Some people are saying that when we were mentioning which people. It could be maybe a head of state could be involved. We don't know. They could not be involved. They could be, but if they are, then you can't, they have immunity. All these things are things that we have to look at, but we are just speculating because we have not been
That's true.
given the true evidence. What we know, what is a fact, is that all that money and the property she had was from corruption, because that's how the Section 80 has been effected. That's how it's been put to play now, because whatever she did, all that she got from emerald mining, whatever, all those things, that's not true. What is true is that it was corruption. Moving forward, I would like us to be given further evidence, or at least neat bits of information to say this came from here, it came from where, without implicating themselves or without jeopardizing the court cases itself. Now, I don't know who hasn't spoken, but Wallace Mioba, are you there? So you can just give your say on this as well.
Yeah, I'm here, Dr. Banda. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's actually Chanda. I'm not yet a
Chanda.
band.
Sorry, Dr. Chanda.
Okay, go on.
Is Vawaras in the spirit?
I apologize.
No problem. Go on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone has already spoken, and really, to be honest, everything is already exhausted. As you said, it's very complicated because the question is, yes, she is granted amnesty according to the human rights, but at the end of the day, we need to know actually where she got that money, because she was not in business. She was just a journalist, and she was actually not even practicing at that time. So we needed to know, where did she get the money? Who was involved in that money? So if it was, for example, previous, ex-president, but then we need to know that at least we know the president has got, former president has got immunity, yes, but at least we need to know that. But it's we can't just end there and say, yes, there's an amnesty, and then it ends there. The money has been, the state has got the money, has got the house and all those things. But we need to know, as a public, we are actually interested party to know where that money was coming from and who was involved. And then if she want to be a state witness, yes, that's fine, but we need to make sure we are aware about what is going on, because they left us in suspense. They spoke about, yes, the state has got that money, but we don't know where that money was coming from and what is going on with Faith, because she can't just walk in a fresh air with that money, because she's guilty. She's surrendered and said, I'm guilty. According to the Section 80 that you have spoken about, I've surrendered that money, and it's through the corruption, whatever. But if it was through corruption, then we need to know where that money came from, who was involved, who gave her, because definitely speaking, she was not in business for that money, I submit.
Mm. Okay.
But Barbara, you muted.
So sorry. But Chanta, you were the last, but you're now the first in line to speak, because you did give your sentiments of how you were not happy about this. Do you have anything to add on, or based on what you've heard so far, what you think, what you're looking at, and what you expect? Hello, are you there? I think she's muted. I think she's not there. So, Bahimba, are you there?
I am Dr. Chanda.
Yeah, what do you think? What's your take on what everybody has said? Because we're still on the case of Faith.
You know, as we've already said, we just have to trust the institutions that are handling this issue. But there are a lot of gaps which needs to be filled in, a lot. As everyone has already alluded, we have to know where the money has come from. We've got to know who was involved. We have to know, it's our right. She stole from us, that's our money. We need to be given the details. But on the other hand, I really didn't want to bring up this statement, but I don't know how Faith is going to walk with her head up in the community, how she's going to be smiling, and how is she going to interact with people, because some people even insult her. Some people even call her names. But then, is there any protection our government is going to give to these people? If they are going to be given any protection, on whose expense? After stealing from us again, we protect them. Because I mean, I don't know. I have a lot of questions, Dr. Chanda. That's why I said I really have a lot of questions. I've got mixed feelings about this whole thing, because I don't think everyone is going to say, okay, the state forgave you and we've all forgiven you. And me, what is paining me most is Faith was keeping that amount of money in her house when we didn't have medication in the hospitals, when we didn't have the COVID vaccine for people. She kept that money. For me, that is another kind of terrorist. She's a terror in her own way, because people died because they couldn't go for chemo, because maybe the machines were not even serviced, but she had that money in her house. So a lot is going through my mind. That's why I said, really, I've got mixed feelings about the whole thing. We may have the money, fine. What about the lives we've lost? Because we didn't have paracetamol in the hospitals when she was keeping that money.
I think
submit
thank you very much, Himba. You're actually right with what you're saying. That's why I think maybe we can have a repeat of the case for Faith with when we have our resident lawyer in the house, and we did have our Minister of uh, Justice around, maybe to just give us, if even if they can't mention the full details, but just give us an overview of what they think is and where we are headed to and where we're coming from. Because right now, we are all just living on assumption. We are assuming if we're going to protect this girl, are we going to use our money to protect her, which she actually stole, which would be, again, a wrong thing to do. Where did the money come from? Was it the actual amount that she gave, and all those things that are, the missing pieces that are there. So all these things needs to be looked into. Now, as we're coming towards the end of the show, so just in fairness, I'll give every person 1 minute to just give a point of what they think. So we'll start with Patrick, then Mtonga, then Limbikani, then Wallace, and then Wiseman. So over to you, Patrick.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara. I think on Faith's issue, I have got confidence in the whoever was prosecuting her. There must be something behind that arrangement, because when you look at amnesty, unless if the law was misapplied, you only give amnesty to somebody who has come willingly to say, I've stolen and this, but Faith didn't come up willingly. So there must be something behind. I've got a feeling Faith has turned state witness while they are investigating further this matter, because there is no way Faith would have been given amnesty without that. Because we've got a precedent, Liato's case. It's similar to Faith. So they could have used Liato's judgment as precedent, especially that it was decided at the highest court. So that's precedence. But and then if they have agreed, if there is a deal like that, there is no way the government can reveal it at this point, as they would jeopardize further investigations. And I'm pretty sure there are big fishes
Rahim, can
behind.
you mute yourself? Sorry about that, but Patrick.
Yeah,
Thank
Papa,
you.
let me just make my last point, my last second point. I'm pretty sure there are big fishes behind that. Because when you look at Faith, Faith must have been used as a conduit. There are big barons on top there. Faith is a small fish. She was just a messenger. So if Faith I would be happy if Faith has revealed who those big fishes are, and that's why she got her freedom. So that at that time when these big fishes will be brought in, Faith will act as a state witness. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Patrick. We have Balwaya. We've been talking about Faith's case and what's been prevailing with what's happened so far. What's your take on that, Balwaya? Over to you. Are you there, William Lwaya? He's muted. I think he's walked off. Oh, yeah, there now.
Good evening, panel.
Yeah.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. What's your take on Faith's case? What's your feeling about it? We don't have just to recap.
Yeah, good
We
evening.
don't have the other evidence, and everything is still in
Babla.
it's alleged. What you think? Go on. Are you there?
I think internet system.
I think it's yeah. The next person that was supposed to come in was
Kuri ni Babla shapose neshita.
okay.
Ubushiku buno.
Konkonyen.
Tulisana mu Chikongo. Ne village tika. Yeah.
Ngefi mikalipe if ilete Chikongo if mishungu cha sana nifisa. Okay, I think Balwaya has gone off again. According to him, Nach baletera sana ichikonko abale sapo next nibana nibamtonga.
Okay, I'll do my conclusion.
Atadrefa feno kulanda bola ikifwe bali muzambi atadrefa feno kulanda bwefi.
All right. No.
Awo nachumfuika chumfo mwini.
Yeah. No, that's true. It's annoying. I think it's very painful to see that people can walk free, and even when they've caught the person, that's what maybe most people are getting annoyed of. But I'm hoping, like my brother said, there is some, maybe a witness or something that they've made a deal with, which can make, can help the state to recover more of the finances, because we got billions which went missing. And it's not just millions, it's billions we are talking about. So there must be somewhere where they've stashed this money. So I'm hoping that Faith can be, like my brother said, if state witness, so we can bring out this money and let us have money again in the country. Let money circulate in the country. Because people are even saying there's no money circulating. 100 kwacha is nowhere to be seen, because people are piling 100 kwachas is the highest denomination. So they've piled up, they've hidden that money. So I'm hoping and praying that this thing will come to a good end for the state and the people. I submit.
Thank you so much. Back to you, Limpikani.
Well, like I said, I'm very optimistic about this issue. I'm very optimistic. So, if this case doesn't go the way I'm hoping that it will go, because I would like to believe that the deal that has been made is not just about just giving you just give the money here and then you just go. No. you've got to name names. You know, you've got to name names. You know, names have to be mentioned, because I don't think there's a single person in this country who believes that that's all there was.
Yeah.
That was the only amount there. No, 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 no. There's more stashed away somewhere. So for me, I've chosen this position where I want to trust the process, but I'll be watching. And if the process just goes like, you know, anyway, let me just conclude. If the process doesn't give the kind of conclusion that I'm expecting, then I'll be here and I'll talk. I'll talk. But for now, I would rather trust the process. I'd rather trust the process. Because 65 million kwacha withdrawn, no, 65 million kwacha withheld by the states, put in the coffers, I think it will change quite a few lives there. But like a previous speaker said, it will not bring back the lives that were lost due to the fact that that money was stolen. But I'm just hoping that that money is going to save lives as we go forward. But for now, I would rather trust the process. I submit.
Sorry, we've got Joanne who's just come on. What's your take on the case for Diane? Faith. I'm even forgetting the name. The Keith saga. What's your take on it? I'm just going to put my camera off because I just need to get up and get my charger for the laptop. What's your take on Faith and what's gone on? The amnesty that she's been given. How do you feel about it? What do you think is the way forward?
I think I'll just go with what everyone is saying to say we need to trust the process, I guess. We don't even really have a choice, to be honest. For me, I just feel as though, all these people who selfishly looted money are taking us backwards, and they took us backwards quite a number of years. Also in the sense that, people are really trying to advocate for honest work. And if people are going to continue of this mindset that you can just get rich quickly, then when are we going to actually move forward? So I'm really heavily still disappointed in all these people who thought they could get away with all of this looting. So I'm going to trust the process and just wait and see what happens, to be honest. I think that's the best thing that we can do right now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And who's the next person to come up? We've had Tonga spoken by Limbikani, by Wiseman, by Wallace, Wallace Mioba. What's your take on this one?
Hello. Someone hasn't spoken?
Yeah, me,
No,
I haven't spoken.
I think everybody has so far. So it's now your turn, by Wallace.
Myself, I haven't spoken, madam. Dr. Barbara Wiseman here. It was Mr.
Sorry.
Limbi
Yeah,
Kani.
go on, by Wiseman. Then we'll come to Wallace. Sorry about that. Go on.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Wallace as well. I think for me, Doc, I'm still not yet convinced, and for me, I can't trust the process. I've dealt with these sophisticated issues, and I understand very well what happened. Faith, as at now, she was supposed to be under state security right now. If me, I've done something with my father, Mr. Patrick, and then I know that he is the one remaining with a bag of money. This money has been gotten from me. I'll forfeit it. Then I'll tell my father to say, Mr. Patrick, these people, they are after you. Know where you're going to hide this money.
that communication automatically will be there. If Faith can be the state witness, there are some people who are surrounding Faith. Do you know what they can do, Dr. Babla? They will eliminate the evidence. Who's the evidence? Faith. They will know this person, she's a threat to us now. Anything can happen. She can be threatened and she's going to review where we have kept the rest of our money. So the way she has been left loose, that's the weakness for our process. She was supposed to be caged. You don't treat criminals with kid gloves. No. She was supposed to be under cage, interrogated, tortured until she tell the state by force. Don't do things as if you are begging to someone whom we have recovered a lot of money for the nation. No. We have to deal with this case the way they handled each and every criminal. Someone has said, okay, sendeni mpieshi. Don't think nasalende mpyonso fyakwata. Na ishwati, this is just a change. Ulishimbishi parish na unaluzeshi, there is nothing which is going to happen to me. So for me, I think letting Faith and now even my lawyers bakukula in the free of charge, I think for me it's not safe. For me, I'm begging for Faith to be under state security. If Faith, she's the state witness, we are just doing assumptions here. But if the way my colleagues have said to say she can be a state witness, let her be under security. Kumukobeko, we have got amalums ayengi kumukobeko kulia blank kulia. Let her be there. Now our police wabeko surrounding her, give her security until we recover our money. Simple. Nishmala musungira muntu mulagisha house. Why we then drama charo? For me, I'm not comfortable with this process. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you, Wiseman. Again, just to recap to people who are just joining in with TVBAKWETU, Muna movie camera likes because they also watch Tana mention we've forgotten about mentioning likes, stars, and then about YouTube. We are very grateful for them as well for joining us and listening in today. Just to recap again, Pamela and Waba Faith, we are basing what we are saying on the information that we've been given so far. The only solid information that we have is that she's agreed that if indalama bakwete shonse nenga bakwete shafumine mupupu or mufintif shidi lawful. That's the only evidence we have, and that's what they've used to give her the Section 80 where they've given her the amnesty. What's missing muma pieces yesu impia shafumine kwisa shari shinga busheni ba state witness if you fiance to assume. So if people are listening in, we are just assuming. If you push about Faith kuma state lawyers, we don't know, so we cannot assume that we want them. Wiseman at no, we don't know what she's been asked. We cannot advocate for that because we don't know what has gone on behind the curtains. But who's remaining to say something, because we will need to start concluding now and just give an overview, because I think we've got two sides to the story. There are those who I'm in the side of, we wait to see what the process is. The bottom line is that we've recovered more money than we would have done if we went to court, because it would have taken a long time. We would have probably half of that money would have gone to the lawyers than to the government. And then the other half is saying we are literally celebrating bakabola langa baiva mwabata kuna reward mwabeba kwato well done so nomba kabie kunganda because now not kwele lako, which is not making people happy. So it's two sides to the story. So Patrick, what's your say?
It's a difficult one, Barbara, but I know when this happened and I posted it on Facebook, I was bombarded left, right, center. My what do you call, my inbox was full of friends who are not happy about this. They said the government has made a big mistake because they're setting up a bad example of other criminals So all that they will be doing is steal and steal, and then give back a bit of it to the government, and they will go scot-free. Yeah. So there are two coins to this issue. There's some of us who are optimistic, and then the rest of the people are not happy about this. And I for one think there's no way Faith would have been given amnesty if there was no deal, some sort of a deal behind this, because amnesty is actually instigated. I gave you an example of Nigeria. I followed Nigeria a lot when they gave this amnesty thing because it was new to me. They gave a period, nobody was arrested, but the government knew who had stolen. They didn't mention the names, they just said, we know you. We've given you 3 months, start bringing the money. And people started bringing the money. And then some of them who never brought the money, they were followed up to London and somewhere else, and they grabbed the money. So you only give amnesty if somebody freely bring back what they've stolen. But in this case, I don't know whether amnesty was misapplied, and this is why I'm of the view that the reason for that amnesty was that there must be some sort of deals behind the curtains, which we don't know. And then one of my wise men mentioned that if Faith has accepted to be a state witness, then she needs to be guarded by the state because they can eliminate her because she's a witness, which is a very important point. But we don't know. Maybe Faith has been put in under house arrest and being guarded. We don't know about that because the danger here is if Faith has turned a state witness, then there must be an agreement or a contract somewhere or a clause somewhere where the lawyers, whoever is privy to this, should not reveal it. So if Faith reveals it to somebody else, then Faith can lose that amnesty, and she might even be guarded. And then by a wise man, you don't torture people. It's not allowed. If the government tortured somebody, the government can be sued, and they can pay a lot of money. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. We've run over our time by so many minutes. Thank you everybody for coming in to listen to us, TVBAKWETU. This is not just at the start of the show, people were asking, is this just a UPND show? No, it's not a UPND show. It's for everybody, every Zambian. If you're PF, if you are whatever party you are, you can join in, just support us, join the club and come and air your view.
Barbara.
Mukwai.
Barbara.
Mukwai.
Ingeri ili ashiri ya DNA. Ili ashiri ya DNA. Therefore tulande po.
DNA abantu meshe supantu di mcoach date tulande po sana. Bantu fianse fu tuingalanda tu fiatuletera la ife fuine. Bantu tutwaba
Musuminisheni mukashana post ama-photos. Musuminisheni mukashana.
Amafoto y'abana bayiche sana tethi tusuminisha ati abana baleba muma website namuyisa abantu bakayele abana bakayele bafyerwe feta beshi benefilechitika umulandu bafyashi babwe babangwe milandu so
achilanda tinako ati ama-photos ayaweni vabulldozer obotirefwaya
awe amafoto ya muma left right na center ayona ati yamuletera omukashana panti ifo tulefayo wikala wabana bakwe bwalondoloka yesu bana bakwe
I think Barbara, you're right. If that girl had to publish those bad photos, she can be prosecuted.
She can be prosecuted, and then she loses out on the children as well. So our aim is for her to have the children have a comfortable life. Abana bari fyalwa kale so
kali uyo muntu akana
ngari kana tufya yafika ku court kaili bakana no
pusheni program yes push
So
Iri
thank you
yashitira
very much.
ilifurahisha
So
sana hilo.
twalapembela ba resident lawyer besu batwebenga twafuma line, but so far offer to share discuss not to agree. Most of us that